Hello everyone, welcome to Scorched Earth Toys at anymoon.com's transformation guide for Yamato's 1/60 scale VF-19 toys. To begin transformation, I am going to go ahead and close up the landing gears here. Now as you can see, quick and easy. Integrated landing gears, very nice. The first real step to transformation though is to free up the legs. And you do that first by putting your fingernail in this little gap for the shoulders and popping up the shoulder assembly. The next step is to remove the peg that attaches the wing to this rear tail fin. And you do that by just gently pulling it upward. You can try to push the wing outward a little bit. You don't really have to. You can just fold the wing upward. Okay, next there is a peg at the front of the wing that goes into the leg. And you're just going to pull out, as so, to remove that peg. Now underneath, there are also pegs on either side here of the gun. And you're just going to pull them away. And now you have the ability to bring the legs downward. Alright, we're going to continue to focus on the legs. The next step is to rotate the legs outward and then reach behind with your finger and lift forward. And this should get your Gerwalk joint to extend outward like so. You only have 3 clicks if you hear them individually. Sometimes you don't. Like so. So make sure you don't go too far forward on those because you'll break it. As you can see pictures of a broken one on my review at anymoon.com. The next step here is you're going to have to pull the feet outward, which is sometimes easier said than done. This one worked out okay. And then you just open the feet up. And now you're getting pretty close with your feet. With your legs down, the next thing to focus on is freeing up the torso. Now you might have noticed while I was transforming it, a couple things popped out on their own. I'm going to go back and show you what actually had popped out so you would know what to do if it hadn't happened for you. So this, what ends up being the codpiece in Battroid mode, also locks in the torso in fighter mode, so you need to pop that forward. Then these wing roots here need to go out, and that frees up the torso section. Alright, so you have your torso freed up. You can use the hinge right here to kind of separate it and bring it up like so. Gives you a little arm room. And you can replace the codpiece back to its normal position. Now you're going to lift up on one of the arms or just pop the shield off. Works either way. Popping the shield off. And then you can bring these shoulders out. And then you're going to need to manipulate the arms to get them in the right position. And I'll show you that close up. Alright, so here's a little closer up of what's going on with the arm transformation. You're bringing the shoulder out, and then you're going to bring the arm upward while you bring the forearm outward. So now the arm is straight. There's also this bicep piece that you're going to pull forward. Then you're going to come over here, you're going to flip open the trap door and spin the hand out. You are then going to compress the arm upward like so, and spin it around however you want. And that is the arm transformation. When you have the arms how you want them, you're almost there. Now you have to bring down the shoulder guards. Just reach a fingernail in there and bring that downward. There's a trap door on the back of the toy. You just pull that upward. If you've got the neck cover in from fighter mode, you would remove that now because it won't really have enough tension to work. I've already done that. And then you are going to bring your wings outward just a little bit to create some room. as you sink this torso down into position. Now what you've got are little tabs, bring this back out, on the wings that fit into a little tab in front of the arm. So you want to bring this down into place and then bring those tabs in to lock it all together, which I'm not going to be able to do while filming with the light in front of me. So you'll see that connected in the next step. Okay, once you've locked those tabs in, the toy will be secure enough where you could actually lift it by the torso. Everything's locked together nice and tight, although there are some pretty significant balance issues you're now going to have to deal with. And for that reason, you'll usually see these toys not in a very aggressive Gerwalk mode. If you try to get them in that aggressive Gerwalk mode, you might ruin the ankles, essentially. So, generally speaking, I would just avoid Gerwalk mode if I'm not putting the toy on a stand. Let's keep transforming. From Gerwalk mode, I'm going to flip the toy over and pop open this door here. There we go. And that frees up a hinge like so. You can then rotate these guys and slide them backwards. And then you are going to break the neck of the toy and slide that back like so. For the next step, you're going to pop the nose cone downward. You're going to push in on the sunshade there in the front. You're then going to open the canopy, which has a slide out hinge that you have to be aware of. And you're going to rotate the pilot figure. You can then close the canopy, but only somewhat, as so. Alright, the next step involves this little metal bar right here and the hinge that the nose is on. You want the hinge and the nose to be up above where the shaft is attached here. So you're going to put it up here, but you also want that hinge to be at the very front of this slot. So get it straight perpendicular and then press upward to get the nose to slide in like so. So once you've done this, it should be pretty nice and tight on this angle here. Now we'll get the head ready. You can just slide it backwards, lift it up, slide it forward, and you're ready to go. Alright, so at this point in the transformation, you're pretty close to having the magic happen. I find it's easiest to start with this flap here. You want to get this little peg, this tooth in the front, in the little slot in the front of the nose cone. So this section should still be pushed back from earlier. The cockpit is pushed down. You want to get the nose to line up with the tooth, and you want this panel to be flat against the neck of what was fighter mode. So you have to do a little maneuvering there to figure out exactly how it should fit. And there you go. So now I've got that in place. Now I can just bring up the back of the toy here. When it's aligned perfectly, the back end of what was the nose will be poking through. You can then begin to collapse the chest downward, slide the head back into position, continue to bring this down, make sure the head is all the way back, and then you can pinch the chest onto the nose cone, spin the head around, and fold this trap door downward, like so. As you can see, we are coming along. The next couple steps are pretty intuitive. You are going to, on this bottom flap, you're going to fold in these side covers. You are going to bring these wings outward. You're going to fold the wings over. You are going to straighten out your Gerwalk joint. Now watch the edges of the wings as you do this, because they are very, very sharp. So you might actually cut yourself. You are going to collapse the knees if you haven't done that already. You are going to bring up this cod piece, which mine's a little bit loose. And then I will do a close-up on the last move here. Alright, this last part's a little bit tricky. There is a button in front of the metal sway bar for the hip. And you have to depress that button so you can move the sway bar. And once that sway bar is past the button comes back out and locks it into place. So I find the easiest way to do it is all with one hand. Use your thumb to press that button down while applying pressure forward. And there you have it. Alright, now you're just a little fine-tuning away from being in Battroid mode. Alright, when you're done you should have something that looks pretty similar to this. You'll know you've done it right if your gap between this folded piece and the back is almost non-existent. And otherwise the toy just looks badass. Alright, visit anymoon.com for my full review. Thanks for viewing.